Alright, hey guys, today we're going to be doing something a little different and building a mechanical keyboard. For this build, I'm using a Tofu65 case from KBDFans with a DZ65 RGB PCB and a brass plate. For our switches, we're using banana splits which have been filmed and then lubed with Krytox 204 grade 0 for the housings and 105 oil for the springs. I decided to swap out the stock KBDFans stabilisers in the PCB for Durock V2s, which I lubed myself with 205 grade 0. To get a sound I'm happy with from the case, I'm using case and plate foam and added equal soulmate pads under the stabilisers. I'll note that I did not do the Holy mod because I didn't trust myself to do a good job on my first ever build, and I did not do the O-ring mod, or at least not yet, because the appropriately sized O-rings hadn't arrived in the mail when we did the build itself. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the build, but there were a few complications which someone with a bit more experience might have caught before assembling the board. Firstly, I definitely overlubed the stabs on my first go, as I discovered when I assembled the board and certain keys would either rise very slowly after being pressed or get stuck at their bottom out point and not come back up at all. That led me to my next discovery, namely that I had not correctly inserted the stabilizers into the PCB on the side opposite the screw fitting. I suspect this was contributing to the key sticking more than the lube was, but after removing and reapplying the Krytox, I'm pretty happy with where we landed. For anyone trying to tweak the amount of lube on their stabs once the board is assembled, I'd recommend grabbing the stems with some tweezers to remove and reapply lube, and using a syringe to insert lube where the wire meets the stabilizer housing. Last minor issue is that I was a little rough putting some of the key switches in and bent the pins, so obviously they didn't register keystrokes when I was testing the board. Fortunately, I'm using a hot swap PCB, so it was easy to isolate and replace the bent switches so that everything now works perfectly and I didn't have to disassemble the board again. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the build and anything you do differently. Other than that, enjoy the video and the sound test at the end. Mung.